Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, I'm Chris the Down One, and I am back with another video. Now we're gonna get into a topic that's steaming on social media. It seems like the Cleveland Cavaliers are having second thoughts on the recent trade concerning Isaiah Thomas, Jae Crowder. They also get next year's NBA, a high-level NBA draft pick, which could be 18 to a top 10, maybe a top 5 pick, and they traded away Kyrie Irving to Boston. Now, if you follow the tea leaves, and if you check out some of the articles, particularly on ESPN.com and Bleacher Report, they're saying that the Cleveland Cavaliers organization told Isaiah Thomas to come to their organization so they can do a physical, okay, concerning his hip, all right? Now, for those out there who are not aware of the recent, the injury of Isaiah Thomas, he injured himself in the playoffs. It was his hip. He was supposed to have surgery. He had two options: either do surgery on the hip or just let nature take its course. Maybe some rest time will heal the hip. He chose to do the rest. He wasn't going to do surgery. Now, to understand this reasoning, a lot of people have to understand this concerning Isaiah Thomas. He's in his final year. All right, this is before the trade. His final year with the Boston Celtics, okay? The Boston Celtics as an organization, and even Isaiah Thomas knows this, even his agency knows this, they know that this is a do or die year, his final year. He has to prove to them that he's worthy of signing an extension, a max offer, all right? That's what he's competing for, to get the max offer. So for him to do surgery on his hip, that means he would have missed most, if not all, of this year's NBA season. Therefore, he doesn't have any evidence alongside of him that's going to give him a max offer, because Danny Ainge and the Boston Celtics organization, they would have came to the forefront of, well, look, you was out almost half of the year, all of the year. You're going to have to accept this offer. It's not a max offer, but it's a decent offer. So Isaiah Thomas had no choice but to let nature take its course, and hopefully the hip will heal on its own. Okay, now a lot of people, when this trade went down, a lot of people thought that the Cleveland Cavaliers fleeced, stole Isaiah Thomas, Jae Crowder, and that draft pick, and they won that draft. When I told you guys a week ago, well, not a week ago, 4 or 5 days ago, that I felt like both teams won because both teams got what they wanted out of the deal, okay? Mainly the Cleveland Cavaliers, if you look at from their standpoint, they have Isaiah Thomas. He may not be as better than Kyrie Irving. He's a decent player. Then you got Jae Crowder. He can help you on your perimeter defensive game, okay? And you got a draft pick for next year's NBA draft. So basically, you covered this draft covered your short-term goals with LeBron James and your long-term goals concerning the Cleveland Cavaliers organization. If LeBron James walks, it's cool. You can still re-sign Isaiah Thomas to a contract if you choose, or you can let him walk just like LeBron James, and you still have a draft pick that you can build for your future. You'll be in rebuilding mode at the end of this NBA season. Okay, so you cover two things: your short-term goal, your long-term goal. As far as Boston goes, they always wanted a top 10 player, and Kyrie Irving is a top 10 player. Some people want to put him up there as top 5. I say about top 6, top 7. I think he's a good player, okay, and he's going to make the Boston Celtics very good, okay. Are they going to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers? Chances are not, okay. But if you look at their long-term vision, their long-term goal, they have a great team, okay. And when LeBron James leaves the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be a lot better. The Boston Celtics are going to be a lot better. The Philadelphia 76ers are going to be in their stride. They're going to be pretty decent. So that's a lot of competition alongside the other competition you had to worry about with the Torontos. I feel like the Bulls could have had it, but now they're in rebuilding mode. And the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat looks pretty decent. And if somehow, some way, if the Miami Heat can get Dwayne Wade to come back to Miami, if Dwayne Wade accept this buyout from the Cleveland Cavaliers, it remains to be seen, okay? So, looking at this trade, a lot of people thought that, oh my God, Cleveland got everything out of this. Celtics didn't get anything but Kyrie Irving, okay? That's what the perspective from a lot of people. There's a reason why Danny Ainge gave them a lot more. And when you look at Cleveland, they didn't hold any leverage, okay? Boston hold all the leverage. Cleveland wanted another player. I forgot the guy's name that was recently drafted by Boston. They wanted that player. Danny Ainge says he's untouchable. You're not going to get that player. This is as good as it's going to get. Clearly, if you check out what's going on in the NBA, when you look at the landscape of the NBA, this was the best deal out of all the teams that wanted Kyrie Irving. So Cleveland had no choice but to take it. A lot of people gave too much kudos to the Cleveland Cavaliers, particularly their new GM, thinking that he did great. Danny Ainge is slipping. And clearly, Danny Ainge is very calculating. He knew that Isaiah Thomas is sort of damaged goods. Now, what's going to transpire after the physical? Because that's what everybody wants to know. They're not going to avoid the trade. The Cleveland Cavaliers do not want Kyrie Irving back, okay? Not because he's a bad player, not because he couldn't co-side along with the other players in the Cleveland Cavaliers, including LeBron James. And if you read the reports, a lot of his former players want Kyrie Irving back, okay? The reason why this trade will not be voided, because this is the best deal, the best opportunity Cleveland has. If they void this trade, then clearly they lost all the leverage. What little leverage they had, they lost it. Now they're going to have to accept any type of trade for Kyrie Irving, and they're not going to get a better deal than what they got right now. Even if, hypothetically speaking, even if Isaiah Thomas is clearly his hip hasn't been healed properly, and now he has to elect surgery. Even from that perspective, the Cleveland Cavaliers could theoretically wait, okay? And maybe he'll come back into All-Star break, and you don't necessarily need him from the first half of the NBA season. You kind of need him like closer to the end when everybody's establishing positions, and you definitely need him for the playoffs. You need some more firepower, okay? Derrick Rose, I feel like Derrick Rose can start at the point until Isaiah Thomas gets better. All right. And that's pretty much it. The Cleveland Cavaliers, if they void this trade, there's nothing else that can equal or, you know, even be better than the deal that they got right now. And that's why a lot of people was giving a lot of credit to that new GM for the Cleveland Cavaliers, thinking that he got one over on Danny Ainge. But in actuality, Danny Ainge got one over on Cleveland, as well as the GMs. Isaiah Thomas is not going to be ready for the start of the NBA season. I feel like he's going to be missing a lot of time. And when he does come back, when you talk about his talent level, his skill level, it's going to slip a bit because he's not going to be very explosive, particularly with a hip injury, okay? When you push off, yeah, it's all leg work, but your hips, you have to pivot. And when you push off, your hips do a lot of that explosiveness for your legs, okay? And a smaller player such as Isaiah Thomas, who's a ball, you know, he has a great handle. He gets very low, and he's going to need that hip, all right? So I feel like as far as when you talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're going to be all right. They're going to accept this trade. They're not going to avoid this trade. They still got Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose can play for the first half of the NBA season. Who knows? You might get Isaiah Thomas 2 weeks into the season. You don't know, all right? And the Cleveland Cavaliers, as far as their medical team, they're going to have to be really evaluating Isaiah Thomas as well as Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is also injury prone too. You don't necessarily need those two players to demand a lot of minutes on the court, all right? So that's what's going on. A lot of people think that they're going to avoid this trade. They're not going to avoid this trade. This is the best deal that they could get, all right? And it is what it is. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Please hit that notification bell on my notification page so you'll be aware, you'll be informed when my next video or live stream is going down. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Down One. I'm out, dude.